what I was really, have been really thinking about was sort of the somatic effect that listening to the improvisation had. And it was really strong somatic effect. It wasn't just, you know, when Jessica sort of that, you were talking about how it was almost painful, like holding it that almost too long, and how that was uncomfortable. And it was funny because, and I started thinking about it again a bit over lunch, because that idea of closing, because I closed my eyes at a certain point and was really started to feel how, you know, like my breath was getting faster. I started to feel like that there was that tension. And then I started, because I knew that there was going to be this, you know, climax. And I'm sort of waiting for it, and it doesn't come. And then when it came on the video, like I jumped. You know, it's like, there it is. All right, you know. But it was really, it was holding it past that point, creating that, and it really was like an exquisite tension. You know, like that feeling like you're holding it, and then all of a sudden that release. And then I had been thinking about it, and Gabriel this morning really, I'd been thinking when I was in Vancouver, at one point with on the stage with all of the musicians, and they clap, right, using their feet. And so I was on the stage at that point, and I realized there was something about being able to feel that, because when an event happens, when a geologic event happens, you feel it. When these large events, earth events happen, you feel them somatically. It's like when you go into a windstorm. You know, a windstorm is in some ways the most obvious of it, because you have that force that's pushing against you. But even when you're on ground, if you've ever experienced even a mild earthquake in Montreal, that feeling of the ground moving, of that communication right back through your body is something that creates that kind of feeling of tension as well. That feeling of when you can feel sound, not just hear it here, but when you can sort of have that whole kind of somatic experience of everything starting to move. And I thought of when I was up on the glacier at one point, I lay literally, even though the movement on a glacier is most of the time very slow, like very slow, extreme. That's why they call it glacial movement. It's kind of, it's inexorable. It kind of, nothing can stop it. But it's a very slow movement, but it's kind of like a hum feeling. But when Gabe was playing with the Super Bowl, I already know I want one of these.
They're very easy to make.
But it was, wait. Yeah. When he started playing with that, and I could feel it in my feet, that right away made me go, huh. That was something, aside from the fact that I really do like the sound, but I was trying to figure out if there's a way of communicating somatically, not just, and when I say just, I really am not diminishing, because the sound was wonderful, but also if there's a way of incorporating that kind of vibration into it. So I'm just throwing that out because, like, where did you get this, by the way? Did you make those?
Those I didn't make, but I usually make them. The best ones are like nail files, like thin nail files with a handle that are stuck into large Super Bowls.
We have to talk.
Sure. Actually, I have something else to show you too.
Oh, cool.
Maybe I can just tell you right now.
Yeah.
I did a show with like 20 dancer ladies, and while I was in the rehearsal room, someone was hitting their back with this thing that looked like, if you can imagine the nail file one, which is just about that big with the Super Bowl in the end, it looked like a massive version of that. And it's a kind of just a massage tool. They're called bongers, which is just a hilariously American company. But they're supposed to simulate children's hands like the fists of children, giving you a massage, and it's this kind of ball that you whack into your back. It's a hilarious product. They come in.
I'd like to see the ads.
Oh,
stuff.
the box alone is really worth it. You can buy it on Amazon. But and I did. But basically, the ball is so large that when you drag it along the floor, it's like a much deeper resonance. It's much, and I can only imagine if you did somehow have a very large super ball, it would create that same, like a low.
Yeah, because it's that low frequency that somehow always, and that's really what it is like. It's that low frequency. I got a chance to see some video of first of all, people talking about their experience in being in a glacial tsunami, and also there was a researcher who's just gone up, and it was she was saying she actually showed me the stuff on. She goes, yeah, figures the stuff on my cell phone is better than like the $25,000 piece of equipment we brought up, and you could even when the tones were playing through the cell phone, you could feel it. It was such a low resonating hum, and she said that they were up on a slope, and she said when they first, somebody sort of went, did you hear that? And she said the interesting thing was that there was actually no sound.
Oh.
It was just everybody thought that there was a sound, but there was no sound. It was like a rumbling, and low frequency.
Oh, it was only vibration.
It was vibration,
Oh,
and
wow.
it started to
Yeah.
build. So basically what was happening was it was resonating through them. And she said, and everybody's first, after, she said, so first you're experiencing it, and then she said after 15 minutes, we're all starting to look at each other and going, maybe we should stop, maybe we should just like run. Because as somebody started to sort of go, we're all going, this is really cool, this is really interesting, and then all of a sudden somebody went, is it moving? Because what they realized was they were up on a slope that could do what they call a slump,
Right.
which is not. It's cool, but not where you want to be standing at the time.
Wow.
So that kind of, and so these were the things that started making me think about that idea of that low resonance through the body, because she said it was really interesting, and you could, once the frequencies, once it became audible, it was funny because, as I say, listening to it on her cell phone, you could feel the vibration of the cell phone.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It was like a really weird. I was
Right.
going, this is strange.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's sort of got me thinking. So maybe that longer thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just right now, I thought of the largest kind of, if you could make a large rubber ball and drag it along the floor, that would be a very different. That's like not something I've ever really seen or experienced, but that would really create a super low tone.
Yeah, because it would grab, like you can
grab more
just the
of-
way that grabs the floor.
Yeah. Right.
But would it resonate also in a space like the black box, because the black box is a solid floor?
What
Solid
kind of
concrete.
solid concrete? I don't know.
It wouldn't catch so well on the concrete. It needs to grip. So
I know this floor has resonance built into it, right?
Well, yeah,
This
no,
is front
certainly, but
floor.
you probably wouldn't even be able to grab to grab onto concrete. Yeah.
Okay, so then here's a crazy question, because I've worked with portable dance floors, and you can get like a square, and Angelique might know about this.
Yeah, we do have dance floors with the black box.
Oh yeah?
That exists,
But these will work on
Because you know what that means is so you have dance floors for the, well then that would work.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I like the idea of, if you want this kind of somatic kind of effect, that I mean, you can have many of these, and it's the idea that it's around you also
Yeah.
is interesting.
Well, and
So
we
it
can-
could also be done like vertically on some, I think there's
Right.
tons
Yeah.
of
Like.
Well that, but it was like, don't step on it, but this thing, and I asked Jen, so like this is. I just gotta say.
On the
Because-
cello, it sounds good too.
And well, this was the other thing, and it was interesting when you were playing the floor and you were playing your cello, and the
I was
harmonic.
just imitating him.
Yeah, good job.
I just tried to make the exact same sound.
But it's beautiful, like and then you start to get these variations in the sound. So I'm just telling you the things that
Yeah.
really, which you don't have to do, but it just,
I'd be happy
and
to
then,
do it.
and then being able. The thing that's really cool with this is this actually is, in certain places when you go out with the snow and the trees and whatever, that's the harmonics you get.